Hi everyone. Okay, so today's look is all about Mila Kunis in The Oz, which I just saw and I really loved her makeup. Of course, before she became the Wicked Witch. But I loved her smoky eye, the coppery smoky eye feel. It was very elegant, very princessy, but at the same time, thought it was really, really cool the way it was, just I think soft, but yet it really made a statement. So I'm gonna do my version of that, and I wanted to definitely do this as an inspiration. So I did the foundation already, and I already put the fallout powder. And what I'm doing is I'm putting the highlighting powder, which I'm using a very kind of soft pearl color on the highlighting brow bone area. And I am now just putting, um, a, I'm gonna do slight little graduation of gradation of color, just so that I can create a nice symmetrical feel. So what I'm doing is I'm just taking a bit of a brown, kind of a smoky brown, just on right from the lash line, on the outer lash line, to the kind of pulling it up and creating more of a depth to the eye of you know the lid. And I'm just, like, you see how I'm pulling it with my fingers, I'm pulling it up, and then now I'm gonna go over that with a coppery, kind of burnt coppery color. It has a little bit of gold and brown and copper, and it's a really pretty color. And that's I believe that's the same color that Mila Kunis had in the Oz, and I love that color. I thought it was so pretty how it reflects. It was very moody. So by adding this on top of the brown that's pulling on the outer part of the lid, it's going to create a nice gradation to the eyes, and yet it's not going to look too obvious, but it really does create a nice shading. And you'll see once this is done how really pretty that it creates an extra depth when you do it like that. So you can already kind of see it, just creating the optical illusion of adding depth. So, and here Carla has great lids just like Mila. Mila has such big full lids to work with, and I think that's really nice to do this kind of smoky eye when you have those kind of lids. Like Kim Kardashian definitely has those kind of lids. And if not, I mean, if you don't have the big full rounded lids, then definitely, you can definitely do this look. You just have to make sure, remember, dark pulls in, light pulls out. You want to make sure you put it in an area where it doesn't over um, emphasize the pulling in. You want to definitely lighten it up. And like with right here with Carla's eyes, her eyes do tend, even though they're round and they're quite large, you want to make sure that you still create the optical illusion of symmetry. So what I'm doing is I'm adding the lightest part of the copper color in the inner part of her eyes, and then as we go out, then I'm adding the darker tones, and it creates the depth as we go darker. So light pulls out, dark pulls in. So now, as you see here, I'm just going to add a little bit of a mixture of the copper and the brown, and I'm just going to blend that all here together. And see, I'm using my blending brush, my rounded thick blending brush that I love, and I'm just shading this out really carefully and really beautifully, so that way we can really have a nice shape going on to the eyes and make sure that it's nicely balanced. And see how you can see the reflectiveness of the brown, but at the same time the copper kind of reflected, shimmery tone comes through as well. And so now I'm just putting a little bit more light in the inner part of the lid, just because I want to pull that out, and then I'm just kind of blending all those colors together, merging them. See how pretty that looks? So it's all blended together. And I love this look, and I tell you, I really, really, really don't necessarily copy, I won't say copy, but I don't really love a lot of the makeup I see on film. when it comes to like everyday wear, but I thought that was really pretty, and I thought that's something that, my viewers will love to learn how to do, even to wear for their own everyday purposes. And or if you wanted to do this, on someone else, this is a really, really nice look. And you can definitely wear this look, on an outing, for dinner, on a date, if you're hanging out, going to a party. This is a great look for a club. I mean, you can do this. Even a bride would love this look. A bride who really would love to have that extra sophistication. Okay, so now what I'm doing is I'm taking my strip brush. It's a flat strip brush, and I'm taking some black gel liner, and I'm actually going right up on the lash line, and then I'm pulling it out, and I'm really emphasizing on the outer lid. See how that's pulling out? I'm not going inside. So see how that kind of creates that depth, and it really emphasizes on the inner to pull out. It's an optical illusion, and yet you still have that liner feel, but this one I'm not doing so heavy edgy look, but I'm doing more of a soft kind of smudgy liner. So I'm just kind of taking that really thin in the inner, and then I'm making it pull it out and thicker on the outer. So that's really what this whole look is about. And Mila Kunis, really, they did it very subtly because the lighting was very, very dark as well, so it's hard to see the details. But I really studied it when I watched the film, and I loved the way it was shaded onto her eyes, and it created that mood. And this is so pretty because, this is before she became the evil woman, evil witch in the movie. She had to be a much softer version of herself, and this really, I think, was a great example of a look for her to really look almost like a princess who's gone, into a really kind of a nice place in life, and then all of a sudden it transitions when she goes into that. I don't want to give you the movie story away, but when she transitions into the evil witch, which is a whole nother look, which I'm not going to do that. But this is definitely more of the modern day version of what I got inspired pre evil witch. So here's now what I'm doing with the liner is now I'm just pulling it in a little bit more in the inner, but I really wanted to start off with the proper guideline. And it at the same time, it's really important to keep it smudgy, because I don't want, see, when I do smoky eye looks like this, I mean, I think it's always nice to have everything kind of still have a nice blended feel together, because smoky eye to me has kind of like that smoldering feel, and really this is what I wanted with this look. Is I don't want to have it so heavy, edgy. I want it to have still a softness, even though it's very, very, smoky and smoldering look. So it is a very sophisticated look, but definitely I think it's really, really pretty. And so here I'm just kind of blending that together, and you can see how it's really starting to really set into place. So now I'm taking a little bit more of the gold coppery shadow, and I'm just blending that into the liner a little bit more, so that way I can take some of the heaviness off of the edge of the liner, and then just clean it up and just really make sure that everything's pulled together really pretty, and not making it look, all like layered, but just a little bit more graduated. Okay, so see how that's really starting to set in? I'm going to take a little bit more of that liner right there and just clean it up, and just clean that line right there. That's really important. Okay, so now that we're getting that, I'm loving how this is looking, and it's just so pretty. The copper's really, really coming through. So now I'm going to go right into the under eye, and I'm really going to emphasize. Carla has very sensitive eyes, and she's gonna probably be blinking a lot more. So just whenever you have anybody that has really sensitive eyes, when you see them tearing up, stop. Let their eyes rest and then go back to it. And always have them look the opposite direction where you're pointing the brush. Because a lot of it is psychological, like they think they're getting their eyes poked in. So, okay, so now as you see, I'm going really heavy on the bottom because I really want this to have that smoldering effect. And Mila Kunis's eyes are just beautiful. They're just really super duper mysterious, super round, super smoky. She really sports that smoky eye really well. So I really want to make sure that I pay homage to that because I really love, I got so inspired when I saw it. So I want to really be able to recreate that in a way where everyone could wear it. Okay, so Carla's eyes are tearing up and I'm doing some damage control, if you will, okay? And making sure that it does not affect the work, so you don't want to get that into your makeup. Okay, so now that I'm just doing the finishing touches here, I'm going to go really and just clean up anything that might have dulled out a little bit in the process. And here we go. Okay. Because I tell you, when you get sensitive eyes, it could be a challenge, and especially when you're doing a smoky eye look like this, you want to make sure that you have all your ammo to combat and fix and make sure that it doesn't affect what you're doing. Okay, so now I'm gonna go and just blend whatever area that settles in that needs to be blended a little bit more. Just go right in there, just blend that out a little bit. Okay. Alright, so now I'm going to go in, clean, just letting her eyes rest. If you wonder why I'm not doing the other underneath, it's because I'm wanting her eyes to rest a little bit and just making sure that I can get to the bottom of her lid. Okay, now we're ready. She said she's okay now. So I'm just going to go right, and I'm going to try to do this quickly so that her eyes don't freak out. And I already know I have a guideline. So I'm just going to go right in there. Okay, let her eyes rest. I had to go in really fast. But fast doesn't always mean that it's going to prevent her from tearing. But, you know, one thing is once you get the first eye done, ooh, her eyes are tearing. Okay. So now that her eyes are closed, I'm just going to clean up whatever, let her eyes rest a little bit. Okay. Always don't ever rush things. Okay, so now I'm going to get her eyes cleaned up like that. And there you go. Just make sure that you don't let the tears affect what you're doing. Okay. There we go. I think her eyes are starting to settle in a little bit. Okay, so now what I'm doing now underneath is I'm going to take some of that coppery brown and I'm going to go right on the bottom and go right into the black liner. I'm going to do that this side too, and I'm using a rounded, kind of a stiff tip brush, and just go right into that black liner and see how we just created a nice gradation. It's really, really pretty. It does create a nice dimension to the eyes. It doesn't just leave the black just hanging there all by itself. It really kind of creates a nice gradation. It actually does soften the black, you know, even though it creates that intense smoldering effect, it really does add a nice effect to the smoky eye look. At the same time, it does somehow soften that edginess. So now I'm taking the stiff eyebrow brush that I have, and I'm getting the eyebrows really, really shaped. I'm using a flat matte dark powder, a brow powder, and I'm going along with her natural brow shape. She's got really beautiful brows, and they're very, very arched, and they have a nice dark color. I'm just filling it up and really creating the effect of her natural brown arched brows, but I'm just completing them. And as you can see, look how nice that's really shaping, and really it does, it reminds me a lot of how Mila Kunis's eye shape is, with the brows being so arched and defined. And so that's why I thought Carla is perfect for this look, because she has very similar features as Mila, and I think that it's a really nice example to use for something that you're inspired by. And so I really wanted to use her face for this particular look. And if you ever want to learn these tricks of the trade and you are interested in becoming a makeup artist, or you just want to learn how to do really great makeup on yourself, you can go to my how to makeup training. We have an online training program. You can go to mkcbeautyacademy.com, or you can go to how-to-makeup.com and learn how to do makeup through the online training. Or if you want to take any private classes, you can go to mkcbeautyacademy.com and learn all the tricks of the trade, secrets from me. And there's also both online and in-person training can be certified. So it's all up to you. I get students from all over the world. A lot of these are just inspiration that you're seeing. If you really want to learn the nitty-gritty, that's the way to go. But definitely you can just watch these as well and get inspired, and use this as a vehicle to get inspired and learn as much as you can. But certainly if you're really serious about this, I highly encourage you to take the online training, or definitely take some classes from me. Or you can do a blended too. You can take the online and come in and take a couple of classes in person with me too. So definitely feel free to do that, and learn as many different looks and techniques as you can. So now that I'm going to go and just perk up the cheeks, but I don't want it to be super, super heavy. I don't want any like deep, dark tones on the cheek. I actually want to keep it very peachy and very fresh. So I'm going more with the peachy color, peachy coppery tone color on her cheek. And it kind of reflects off the eyes because I use the coppery browns in her eyes. But I want to keep it soft. So now I'm going to just blend the cheeks as well, getting the fallout powder off. But see how pretty that's looking? Look at how pretty. And yet the cheeks are very soft. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put a little bit of a brighter color lip and make this more modern. Mila Kunis had a little bit more of a plum color, which I think is pretty too, but I think I'm going to go more with kind of a brighter, fresher chrysanthemum, I don't know if that's a word, chrysanthemum, more orangey lip. I think is pretty for this, and it'll definitely make it more runway and much more modern. So definitely I think you'll see how you can, with this base eyes, you can do a lot with it. You can go natural lip, you can go nude lip, you can go, all sorts of different colors, and then you can go really with a pop of color like I'm going to go. So I'm going to do the lashes first, and I'm using a super, super black mascara, and I'm using a thick formula because I want the eyes to really, really perk up. And you know how Mila's eyelashes are pretty intensely thick and long, and so I want to really emphasize that. And under the circumstances that Carla's got very sensitive eyes, I gotta act fast, so I'm probably gonna whiz through this a little bit faster than normal. But you can see how I'm just thickening the lashes, and Carla's got really great lashes too, so she's not gonna fall short of having a great eyelash look. I'm just going to go right on the edge right there. And I gotta work fast because she's gonna tear up and I don't want her to ruin my makeup. All the hard work I already put into. Okay, so she's doing okay. A little bit teary-eyed, but not so bad. And as you can see how the mascara is just really completing the look on her eyes. Okay, so I'm gonna do a little just to make sure that, oh, she's starting to tear up. Okay. Okay, there we go. Alright. So see the lip color I'm using. This is, to me, the very modern day version. It's very Gucci. Gucci's doing this. You know, there's a lot of looks that, you know, are using not just, you know, for this eye makeup, but you can do this with like a nude eye with just a pop of color. You can do this with liner, or you can do this with a smoky eye like I did. This is a great lip color. It's very, very in right now. And I thought, you know, that's what's going to be a little bit different than, you know, how Mila wore it in the Oz. And you can even do a more transparent version of the same kind of tone, but just more of a see-through color, and just mix it in with a little bit of a gloss. And I want to make sure that this has a little bit of a princessy feel to it, so that's why I love this color for this. And I think it's a really elegant color. This to me is a great look for a bride, for a nighttime wedding. Definitely a great look for prom. A great look for, you know, a date, if you want to look really hot for your guy, and or girl, doesn't matter. And you could do whatever. I mean, this is a look that I think is very universal, and it's still very classic too. Now remember, with this eye, you can do, like I said, a very natural version of the lip. You can do a very nude lip, which I love. But I would do something, you know, more beigey rather than just completely nude. Do something that has a little bit of more depth to the lips. But I love this. I love it. I love it. And I have to say, Wizard of Oz is my all-time favorite movie. I think seeing that movie when I was a little girl was like really what got me into this. Besides Breakfast at Tiffany, which I love Holly Golightly. She was another inspiration of mine, and ironically I got to work with Audrey Hepburn, you know, when I was in my earlier years of doing makeup. I was very, very fortunate to work with Audrey Hepburn, and so to me, a lot of inspiration from these certain particular aspects of film was a very important factor to who I am as an artist. And so, you know, doing a look like this from Oz, who's from, you know, inspired from Wizard of Oz, is really important. And I have to tell you, I loved the story of Oz. I thought it was really, really well done. I was really not expecting to like it as much as I did, but I did, and that's a great compliment, because, like I said, Wizard of Oz was and is one of my all-time favorite movies. So they really kept the integrity of the story, and so much that I can't tell you. See it in 3D too. If you haven't seen it, watch it in 3D. It's so beautiful. So, but get inspired. It's a really great movie to get inspired. And I am just doing my last minute touches, but here is my version of the Mila Kunis look in Oz, and this is pre the Wicked Witch, before she turned into that crazy evil woman. And this is when she was still more of the princess, pretty. So what I'm doing real quick, I'm doing the last minute blending. I'm putting a little bit of the blush color on her eyelids, and just kind of melding them in a little bit. That's a little bit of a trick secret. So here you go. So this is my version of Mila Kunis in the Oz, and this is the smoky eye, smoldering look, and my inspiration vehicle, and I love it. And I just did more of a more modern lip, and I hope you guys try this out. I'm doing some more stuff coming up. Stay tuned. I do have a couple of things that I think you'll love. Thanks for watching, and subscribe if you like. See you soon.